Education is probably one of the biggest influences in my life because, my parents, once again, they're foreigners. And I think a lot of foreigners' mentality, if you will, is that you come to this country because, once again, you want to seize opportunities. And so education is one of those things that you just try to seize. And that was very much ingrained in me while I was a kid. They always wanted me academically to be sound before I did anything else. So they put me in a lot of academic team, math team, government teams, so I could be academically solid and academically sound. And, grades always came first. And I was teased all the time. I was for sure one of those kids that you would see walking down the hallway, the nerdy kid with the glasses, kind of the Urkel looking guy, just because, that was my identity. That's what I love to do. And that's the thing I kind of grew up knowing. As I went to high school, I realized I wanted more of a challenge. So I spoke to my mom and dad about that. And we decided that maybe it'd be a good idea for me to go to boarding school. And every single time I say I went to boarding school, people say, why in the world would you want to do that? You want to go all the way across the country. Did you do something terrible in your life? And that wasn't it. I just truly thought that they would afford me a lot more opportunities to grow. So for my junior year of high school, I decided to go to boarding school at Phillips Academy, Andover. And I'm really happy because I think it was the pivotal point in my life when I realized how to become an effective person. You go to the school and there's 1,000 students from all over the world who are some of the best and the brightest. And, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I almost failed out my first semester. I did terribly in most of my classes except for 2 classes. I think it was like math and Spanish. And so, it's one of those experiences that teaches you, you just have to get back up on your feet and you have to stand your ground and know you're here for a reason. I think that's something that I really tell myself in music all the time because, with what our band does is a cappella. A lot of people tell us, this type of music won't necessarily have a place in the music industry. And we just have to stand our ground and say no. So we have to be as creative as possible and put in work to make sure that our music really captivates a lot of people. And I think those skills I learned early on in high school. After Andover, I went to Yale for undergrad, and whereas I feel like boarding school was the time where I learned how to be just a person that could be effective in how to manage time and work ethic, things like that. Yale was an opportunity for me to just explore. I explored so many different types of subjects, from Chinese economics to Japanese literature to music history, and it was just so cool to be taught by some of the brightest people in the world, people that really pushed you to think and be creative and to think deeply about the world. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I gained from my experience there. As a musician, I think what I'm trying to do is understand how my small part plays its role in this bigger context in this world. Continuously learning about all different subjects, continuously learning about all different things, I think is so important so that when you do what you do, you will understand why it's important in this world. For myself, music is such a vital part of the human experience, I think. And I want to see how it interacts with so many different aspects of life. And that's why I continuously, and I mean passionately, learn. I'm thankful for my educational background to help me get to a point where I could do that. And it really helps me with the stuff that I'm doing with Pentatonix and helps me with the solo work on this EP, to just continuously gain knowledge and be confident in the learning process and enjoy it for what it is.